Okay, update. It's a pre-departure day. It's Sunday, January 2. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm still tied up to the pier. Excuse me. And I woke up out of a nice deep sleep. I'm not worried about anything about the boat. I'm looking forward to the trip. Had a great evening last night with David, my friend from the UK. We had a couple of beers and we talked about places to go with the boat. So it was a great day and I'm stoked about the trip and I'm ready to leave. But freaking 1 o'clock in the morning, I wake up because the ventilation fan stopped. So I'll first point out that when you're, I know power plant guys do it. I'm not sure other industries, I'm sure as well. When you're at work or at home and you're accustomed to hearing certain sounds and then one of them stops, that can actually wake you up. When I was in the military, I lived on the aircraft carrier for a while and I lived directly under number 2 catapult, and it was so loud that you would think nobody can sleep through that. A big crashing metallic sound that it would make every couple of minutes when they launch an airplane. But I would sleep right through it, and so would my shipmates, my other officers. I was an officer at that point. Yeah, we'd sleep right through that, but by God, if a ventilation fan stopped, we would wake up, and it's just so weird. But it happened to me today. So I wake up, and my fan's off, and I reach for the light switch, and the light doesn't work. So I come out here, and the cabin is completely dark, and I'm back to a flashlight. And I'm going, what the hell? So what I think happened is, well, part of it is me being an idiot, is that because I just a couple days ago I turned on the second cooler in the freezer mode, because I have 2 of these portable coolers that I'm using for refrigeration. One of them has been a refrigerator for months. It's been running off of the inverter and it's been doing great, keeping things cold. I mean, it's not so convenient. I'd rather have a normal stand-up fridge, but it worked and it kept things cold. And I thought I'd be an Einstein and go ahead and get a bunch of food prepared, like meats cooked, and freeze them. And I think that's not a dumb idea, but I made that decision just a few days ago, and the girls at the kitchen cooked me up a bunch of burgers and chicken fillets, and I put them in the freezer and cranked that baby on, you know. And I should have at that point unplugged it and just run it directly off of shore power, but I didn't. And so overnight it apparently drained the life out of my lithium battery, which provides all the house loads. So the battery died, and I have an app on my mobile phone for the, probably can't read that, solar controller, and for the battery to battery charger. And using the battery to battery charger, excuse me, and I can see that the lithium battery voltage was down to 11.2, which I think by lithium battery standards is dead. So, glasses. Yeah, so I can't see what else I logged, but so I turned on the house charger, which runs off shore power, and immediately I got my lights back, because I'm just running right now. I'm running off of the freaking just running off the charger. But here's the funky thing: this charger already, we're down at 11.4 volts now, 11.4, and this charger is so damn smart that it is on its own deciding to go from a charging mode to the what it calls conditioning mode. And conditioning is the same as absorption charging. So I don't know why it's doing that, and I don't see, and I've been looking at the manual for the charger, and I can't figure out how to just manually force it to run like the old school battery chargers. And that's my 1:15 in the morning rant. You know, I remember having a rant on video previously, because at that time I couldn't figure out how to increase the set point from my battery to battery charger to get my engine start battery from 11 and at 0.9 to 13.1 volts. You know, and here I'm sitting here with a dead battery, and the freaking charger wants to go into absorption charging, not bulk charging. It needs a bulk charge for a day now. So I'm already looking at delaying my departure. I just don't see any way. I mean, it's gonna, I don't know. So that's the update. And if I had to make a decision right this minute, I would get these freaking smart chargers and these smart freaking batteries out of my boat. The problem with the battery is that there's a separate app for that, you know, and that app needs to communicate with the battery via Bluetooth, and the app won't communicate with the battery via Bluetooth. It can't discover it on Bluetooth unless the battery apparently is charged a little higher. So down at 11.2 to 11.4, this Life Blue app cannot discover and talk to the battery. So I have no idea what the state of charge is. And the only way I can get any information is from the app that I have for my battery-to-battery charger. And I'm hopeful today that the solar charger will do some charging, but I don't know that it can make up for, you know, this kind of deficiency. I just don't think so. So I'm planning on living on the charger the rest of the day and charging it if I can get it to continue to charge, and it doesn't. So a little frustrated, and I know I just woke up, but god damn, you know, right now I wish I could have a couple of old lead acid batteries and one of those chargers that we had on the farm 30 years ago, the kind that you plug in and that MF is gonna charge until it dies. You know, they very simple. But so my philosophical rant is that, you know, we think we're making our world so awesome by making things smart, you know, smart they call them, and really between the smart charger and the smart battery, this dumbass is stuck without power, and I can't get underway. You know, how do I get here? I don't know, but I know how to get out of here. And if I have to, as soon as the shop's open, I'm going to go buy the biggest AGM battery I can find. It probably cost me $300. And I won't throw the lithium battery in the trash. I'll keep it on the boat somewhere. But I'm done. I'm done with that. And I'm also going to try to find the oldest school charger that I can find. You know, and maybe that'll wait till I get to the U.S. I'm not even pissed off, but I'm pleased that I made the decision early on when I bought this boat that we're not going to sit at a dock or in a dry dock somewhere for, you know, 2 years trying to make the perfect boat. We're going to use the boat so that I can learn what things I like and what things I don't like, and so I know what I want the finish line to look like after the 2 or 3 years go by. And I know already that we're going to continue to reduce the level of technology in this boat. So I'm sitting here with a charger that decides on its own to stop charging, and that just fucking blows me away. But that's what it does. And the battery itself won't turn on. You have to turn on a battery? Yes. You know, you really do. This lithium battery will shut itself down, and it does, you know. And it's like, I guess that's just a characteristic of all lithium batteries, but I'm thinking, you know, I'm not going there. Or I went there by mistake. That was a mistake to buy the lithium battery. I'm not even sure if it's because of the manufacturer of that battery, but I know, I mean, maybe they're all that way. But I think old Russ is going to wheel about and just get a big bank of lead acid batteries. And that's technology, I understand. They don't have smart stuff. You just charge them and you're done. You know. So if that means I need to get 3 lead acid batteries, then that's what I'm going to do. And I know you could probably go to YouTube and find 100 other opinions on that, and some people buy a whole bank of lithium batteries and they love them, and I just think, you know, I'm done with this. You know. Okay, this is the simplified drawing of my electric system. I have 4 solar panels, each 100 watts. Their power is routed through a solar controller pictured here, and that goes to the house battery, which is indicated here. That's a lithium phosphate battery. And that's the house battery. So I didn't draw where it goes to. That goes to lights. It goes to fans. It goes to the fridge. All the normal stuff on a boat. And it also goes to charge the other batteries. There's a DC to DC charger pictured here, and it takes power from the lithium battery and processes it and sends it to my engine batteries. That's the way I have it set up. The house batteries, again, are charged from solar panels, but they can also be charged from shore power via the what I call the house charger. That's a shore powered charger. That's turned on now. So here's the situation. So I woke up about 1 o'clock in the morning because all of these things were not working. The first thing I did was run out to the cockpit and run and start the engine, and it did start up. The voltage on the battery had gotten down to about 13, but that's about where it's supposed to be. So I didn't have an immediate crisis with the battery, with these batteries. They're just not being charged right now. The house battery had, for the last 5 months, been getting charged solely by the solar panels. During the hurricane, I charged it with the shore power charger once. And when I first arrived here, I charged it with the shore power charger once. So the question you can often ask is, well, what's different? What's different is this refrigerator. So this is the first fridge. It's the kind you can put in the back of an SUV, and it'll run off battery power direct, supposedly, and it'll run off of house power, which is what it's doing now via the extension cord. But last night, that's not what it looked like. Last night, the two refrigerators were plugged into my inverter here. Okay, so we're going to draw inverters next. So shore power provides power to that, but shore power also provides power to a number of receptacles in the boat. Okay, a handful, not too many. And for other things, I have, for AC power underway, I have 2 inverters. I have a small one on the workbench, and I have a larger one here dedicated only to the refrigerators. So what I think happened is that I had only one of the refrigerators operating, and 2 days ago I turned on this one and set it for the freezer mode. See, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, and I had to take it to the max setting in order to freeze water, and I think that's what initiated the event, because and I don't know any of this, I think this, I know that I'm finally got frozen food. Okay, so that's good, but in order to keep it frozen, I believe these refrigerators together was the only thing that changed, really, and I think they sucked the battery voltage down on the lithium battery to the point that it shut itself off. Come on, you prick. So this is the application, it's on my mobile phone, for the battery to battery charger. So this is the solar controller, this is the battery to battery charger. They're both Victron brand, Victron Energy, and that's supposed to be the best brand. This is the house battery charger, the shore power charger. And right now I'm struggling, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. Because the lithium battery voltage right now is 12.8. Okay, 12.8. I want it to be past 14. And that's because the lithium battery manufacturers say that that's kind of when it's got to get to 14.2 before it's considered ready to go. And the question is, how do I get it there? So here's, I'm going to circle with the red all the things that think they're smart. The house battery itself thinks it's a smart battery. My shore power charger thinks it's smart. The solar controller thinks it's smart. And the DC to DC thing thinks it's smart. For these two guys, I have an app on my phone, and that's what I'm using right now to tell me what the voltage is here, because this has an input voltage right now of 12.8 and output voltage of 13.1, because these batteries are still charged up to 13.1. This thing has an app, but it connects just like these. They connect via Bluetooth to my Apple iPad. And right now the iPad can't discover this battery on Bluetooth. So I have no idea what the state of charge is on that. But I don't think that will turn on until the battery gets to a higher charge state. Right now I'm kind of stymied because this battery charger is so damn smart. It has a number of settings. So now if you look, kind of hard to sit down even now. I already have my cushions up. Okay, so let's kind of zoom in to these green lights right there. Okay, this thing can charge. This charger can run 2 batteries at once. It can charge this one, which is currently set to lithium phosphate. I think you can read that. That's a lithium phosphate setting, and it can run an AGM. Right now, I do not have any power lines going to my engine batteries from this. I could do that no problem, and I would set it for AGM because that's what they are. So when I first started diagnosing this, I turned this thing on and all my lights came on, and it was running at about 15 amps, which indicates your battery is pretty flat. Then I turned on my mobile phone, and I turned on this app connected with this battery, and I saw my starting voltage was 11.2 on the lithium battery, and now it's up to 12.8. I'm not even looking at solar yet because the sun's barely out of the sky, into the sky. The funny thing is, I just don't understand it, because these things are smarter than I am. This is not an old school battery charger. This is new school, and it's supposed to be smart. And what it does is it goes from charging to conditioning, which is the same as absorption charge, and I don't want it to do that yet. I don't want that. I want to force charge this battery. That's what I want to do. And what I might do, well, there's a lot of things I might do. What I did after that, so I noticed like I turned this charger on, and for about 5 minutes it was putting out about 15 amps, and the little charge light was on. And then on its own it went to conditioning, and the amps dropped to 0, and it was still at 11.4 volts. And I said, well, damn it, I want this thing up at 14 volts. So I went into the programming and I changed the battery type to AGM, and then turned it back on, and then it charged about 3 hours, and now it's up to 12.8. Oh my goodness. Now it's up to 12.8, and then it just now went to conditioning again. And I don't know how to force it into a charging mode. Okay, so quick update, and then we're going to get this video loading so we can load while I'm sleeping, okay? And I want to do that today before I go. It's Monday afternoon. It's 4:30. It's been raining all day, but I do have a fully charged lithium battery. The state of charge is 100%. It's sitting at 14.8 volts, and this is how I did it. And don't think I'm a genius, because I'm not. I tricked the battery charger into thinking that it was charging an old style flooded battery, and I reprogrammed it to charge a flooded battery, the kind that we had in our cars 30 years ago. Then I reset it, turned it off for 10 minutes, turned it back on, and that thing charged like gangbusters all day. It never once went to a conditioning mode until it had already hit 14.3. And we had some sunny skies for part of the day too. So the bottom line is I'm beyond that problem, and the battery should be good to go. I am planning to get underway tomorrow. I'm planning to leave the house charger running all night long to continue in the float mode and conditioning modes to just keep the lithium battery right where we want her all night long. In the morning, when I disconnect shore power, I'm going to completely turn off that second fridge that's now a freezer, and I'm going to go back to my single fridge in refrigerator mode and just live with it, and the freezer will just be an ice box. It's packed full of ice. There's only a couple of pieces of food in there. There's lots of frozen water, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I just need to get underway, and I'll think about all these things that have happened and what changes I want to make in design space. So I think we already talked about the nautical chart and all that hoo-ha, and I think I'm ready to go. If you looked at Predict Wind or windy.com right this minute, you would see nothing pretty. You'll see a weather system that's going to bring me some northerly winds tomorrow, and I'm going to go south. Let me grab the camera. We'll talk while we look at the chart. I'm up here. Tomorrow, I'm going to get underway early in the morning, and my objective is to go as east as possible. You know, with a brisk northerly winds I'm going to have most of the day tomorrow. I should make it at least about that far. I should make it to south of Cuba, and I should get somewhere in this vicinity, they call it Yucatan Basin, by the end of business tomorrow, or by, well, 24 hours. And then the winds are going to get, it looks like I'm going to get 3 days of easterly winds, so I'm going to beat to windward for some. Then there's going to be another very strong cold front that blasts through and brings northerlies again and the weekend, but they look pretty darn strong. So in strategy space, what I need to think about is that if I decide I'm tired of being to windward and I want to go this way after all, I'll be right here by the weekend, and that's exactly when I'll get those winds in my face. That's the time I don't want northerly winds. So it's all kind of a mess, and I'm kind of like, you know, it'll be what it'll be. I'm not too worried. If I can't make it this way when the winds are in my face, then I can go to Roatan, excuse me, or I can go to some other place here on the map, which we're not going to talk about, okay? I might go there. And I might do that. If I want to make this pass back through and head up to here, I would wait until after the weekend, because I'm expecting 2 days of strong northerlies this coming weekend. And I don't want to sit here trying to go with the current beating into the wind, because it'd be really choppy, a lot of swell. It would be ugly. It would be much more sensible to just hang out down here and just wait it out. And when you're hanging out down here, you might consider going here, you know, and I just might do that. So you might find me here, you might find me here at Roatan, and you might find me some other place. That's kind of the plan. Who knows, man? Who knows indeed, and I sure don't know. I'm just glad to be alive and glad to have good friends like you guys. So I do appreciate it. I'm going to run up to the kitchen right now because the girls are boiling me 24 hard-boiled eggs. You know, that's important stuff. And I'm going to bust off the shells and put them in a big Ziploc bag, let them cool off, chunk them in the fridge. And then I'll have some eggs to eat without having to stop and cook, because it's possible I have a hard time leaving the wheel. You just never know. Might do a lot of heaving too. So take care, guys. I'll get a video out as soon as I get where I'm getting. Okay, take care. Bye.